What's going on, guys? In this video, I'm going to show you guys how to use TradingView.com. What TradingView is it's simply the website that we use to actually mark up our charts, do our analysis to be able to see what we're going to do, whether we want to buy or sell a pair. Okay, so first thing you guys want to do, obviously, is come to TradingView.com. Okay, and this is the first screen you'll see, right? It's got a nice little intro. And so the first thing I want to talk about is actually signing into TradingView, right? You can make an account here on TradingView to be able to save your chart layouts and be able to come back to them at any time. Okay, so the first thing we'll do is we'll come up here to the right and we'll click Get Started. And it's going to bring up your plans, right? And so if you guys want to go ahead and pay for a plan, you can, but you can also create an account for free. You don't necessarily have to pay for one of these plans, okay? And as I said before, it's actually recommended to make an account so you guys can save each chart layout and be able to sign in on any device and have access to your charts, okay? So once again, you can do it for free or you can pay for one of these plans. I'm going to go ahead and sign in up here. And so now that I'm signed in, the next thing we want to do is we want to actually head to the charts, right? There's a lot of resources here on TradingView, but our main concern is to actually go into the charts where we can do our analysis, right? So what we'll do is we'll come to chart up here at the top, and it's going to bring up our TradingView charts, okay? So once again, these are the actual charts that we use to do our analysis to be able to determine, are we ready to enter a trade here on these pairs, right? So as you guys look at the screen, there's kind of a lot to go over, but I'm going to try to make it nice and simple for you guys so you guys can understand each aspect of the screen. So let's go ahead and start with this top options bar, and we're going to go ahead and work our way around clockwise. All right, guys. So the first thing we want to take a look at is up here to our top left, we see symbol search. Okay, we see EUR/USD. That is simply showing us that it is euro versus the US dollar, right? If we go ahead and click this, it's going to bring up a whole bunch of different symbols for Euro USD with different brokers. I personally like to use the FXCM, and that's just, my personal preference. It is a preference. You can choose whichever one you like. They're all essentially reporting the same values, okay? But if we go ahead and up here and we go ahead and delete Euro USD, we can actually type out, let's say, GBP USD, and we see that GBP USDs will come up as well. And we can just click one and it'll bring it up on the chart, right? But let's go ahead and stay on the Euro USD. I'm going to go ahead and click the X now. And let's move on, right? So we're on Euro USD. We're here on the daily time frame, okay? And as we go over to the right here, the top options bar, we see 1M, 3M, all the way to this D over here, right? These are your time frames, right? So we got the 1 minute, the 3 minute, the 5 minute, etc., all the way down. We got the hour time frames and the daily. And if we go ahead and click this little arrow, we can access more time frames, okay? We have the minutes, the hours, the days, and different ranges, right? The weekly and the monthly. So you guys can come here and actually access all these different time frames, okay? And real quick, one of the benefits of actually paying for a package like the Pro subscription or something here on TradingView, you guys can actually access more time frames than you can just for the free version, okay? Just to give you guys a little heads up, okay? Now, that is going to be super important because we like to do analysis from different time frames. We don't like to stay on just one time frame. We like to move around and see what the market is giving us on multiple time frames. Okay, so it's super important to know how to change time frames here on TradingView. Okay, so the next thing we want to cover, guys, here is this little symbol depicting candles, right? If we go ahead and click it, it's actually going to show us different ways that we can view the chart. I personally only use the candles, sometimes the line chart, but mainly the candles because that is where we actually can see a lot of price, see a lot of information using the candle charts, okay? So we're going to stay on candles. The next one here is going to be compare. This is actually a really cool tool that we can use. If we go ahead and click compare, we can actually choose a different pair that we can use here on TradingView and view it compared to the Euro USD, right? So if I go ahead and click Euro JPY, okay, and I go ahead and get out of this, we see up here now it added more candles, and that is going to be our Euro JPY value where we can see it compared to the Euro USD. Right now, we can use this to actually view correlating pairs, see what's kind of going on with different pairs at the same time. And it's just a cool little quick tool to use to be able to see different pairs lining up and see how they correlate. So now let's go ahead and turn this off. I'll just simply right click it and we can click remove. Perfect. And now we're back to just the one Euro USD chart. Okay. And the next one on our options bar is going to be indicators. Now, I personally don't like to use any indicators. I'm a smart money trader or institutional trading, and I like to look at the charts with only the candles and look at what's going on just by looking at a raw candlestick chart, right? And kind of see what's going on with price action, okay? So, but if you guys do want to use indicators, they're right there for you guys to go ahead and add, okay? The next ones are financials and templates, and I personally don't use these at all. I'm not even going to kind of dive into them. If you guys want to explore them, feel free to. There's the financials and the templates options, okay? And the next one is going to be alert, okay? And so we can use this to set a point for when price passes that, we will get a notification on our phone or computer simply saying that, hey, this pair is passing this price point, right? So if we go ahead and click it, it brings up an option for us to go ahead and set alerts by entering some values here. I'm gonna go ahead and click cancel though. I'm gonna show you guys an easier way to create an alert, right? So if we're looking at Euro USD and let's say we want price to pass this point right here, all we got to do is come to all the way to the right and we see that, hey, if we want to set an alert, we can simply line it up to the best of our ability, click this little plus, and it'll go ahead and add our alert here. If we click add alert for Euro USD, go ahead and click that and boom, it sets an alert. So when price comes up and it passes that point, we will get a notification saying Euro USD crossing this point. Right now, if we want to edit that, we can go ahead and double click it or right click it and bring up the settings. We can change the values as we need to, right? We could change the price point. Let's say we want it at an even 1.19100. Okay, we can change it to how frequent we want an alert coming out. Okay, we can set an expiration time. We can send it to how we want to get notified. And we could also change the message. So instead of saying Euro USD crossing this point, we can change it to Euro USD reaching this price point or whatever it may be, whatever you want to put in your alert to be able to get notified for what you want on each pair. Okay, and just again, another benefit of paying for one of the subscription packages to TradingView is that you get more alerts for each pair. I believe with just a free profile on TradingView, you only get one alert. So it is beneficial to pay for a package and be able to use more alerts as you go. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and click delete. So we can delete this alert and we'll go ahead and click yes. And now the alert is gone. Okay. So now the next one on our options bar is the replay tool. Okay. Now this is very beneficial for back testing along with just kind of seeing how price played out. We can go back and simply just rewind the chart, right? If I go back to, let's say, this point right here and I click, now it deletes everything to the right. And if I go and click this little play button here on this toolbar, we see price start moving forward and playing out. And these are all past candlesticks, right? So now we see that price is moving to the right, showing us what happened until it gets to live price. And we see right here, price will stop. And now we're back at live price after the replay tool, right? Very beneficial tool. And once again, another benefit of paying for a subscription to TradingView, you can use the replay tool on all time frames. I believe if you just have a free profile, you can only use the replay tool on the daily time frame and up. Okay, so once again, another benefit of actually paying for a TradingView subscription. So I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of the replay tool. Very beneficial tool that we can use. Let's go back to live price. Okay, the next ones up here are your undo and your redo buttons. Simply, if you mark up something, you can undo and redo here. Very simple buttons up there. You come over here. The next one is actually going to be select layout. Now, I like to use this tool when I'm looking at multiple pairs and waiting to execute on multiple pairs, right? So if we go ahead and click it, we can actually choose to open up multiple layouts and we can see two charts at once, right? If I go ahead and click this one here, we see that now we have Euro USD and Euro JPY here in the same window, and we can view both charts at the exact same time. Both of these are live and we can see what's going on. Okay. If I can also go ahead and come around here and click this one to be able to view both charts now top and bottom. And if I go back, all I got to do is simply click the top one and boom, now I have my original chart back, right? And so once again, another benefit of paying for a package is you can actually get more layouts. I believe if you choose the higher up packages, then you can get more layouts as well. But I personally think 2 is fine. We don't need to look at too many charts all at once. Okay. And the next one is going to be where it says my layout. This is actually how you save your chart layout, right? If you simply just go ahead and click it, it'll go ahead and save it for you. If you click the down arrow, you can change a few settings. I'm not going to go too in detail into all those, but just to let you guys know, that's how you can save your layout by simply just clicking that little button. Okay. The next one is going to be settings. And this one's really cool because you can actually change your chart appearance, right? And so you guys see in my candles, I have blue and black, and I have a cool gradient blue and white background. When you guys first open TradingView, you may see it as that black screen or maybe a white screen with green and red candles. Okay. You can actually change it to however you want. If you simply come up here to symbol, you can change the colors of your candles. Right? If I wanted to make it red, if I wanted to make the bearish candles, let's say purple, right? Whatever it may be, you guys can actually change it to whatever you're liking, simply just to customize your chart and make it your own, right? You can go down to all these different options and be able to trade all the settings to your likings, okay? I just wanted to point out where they're at. We're not going to go through all of them right now just to save some time, but this is where you guys can actually customize your chart layout, right? So I'm going to go and click cancel and get back to my charts. Perfect. Okay. The next one here is just a little expand tool to help you go full screen mode. Okay. Go to click escape and now we're back to here. And then the final one I want to go over is this little camera tool, right? If you go ahead and click the camera, this is how we actually share our chart setups with our students in our Telegram channel, right? All you got to do is come up here. You can either save the chart image, you can save it to your computer, you can copy the chart image and paste it somewhere else. You can copy the link to the chart image, right? And whatever your markup is, let's say you like it, you want to record it for your journal or send it to somebody else and be like, hey, this is what I'm looking at for Euro USD or whatever it may be, guys. This is where you guys can do that to be able to copy the image and be able to share it, okay? Very cool tool, very cool feature there. Okay. Then you also have this publish button. I don't really worry too much about that, but that's essentially to trade your idea with the trading community. We personally like to do it with the snapshot instead. Okay. So that is our top options bar up there. The next one I want to go over is the one to the right. Okay. And the only things I'm going to go over are the first two because those are the only two that I actually use. And the first one is going to be very important. That is going to be your watch list, right? So if we go ahead and click that, that is going to bring up all your pairs where you can easily just shift through different pairs as you go, right? We can go from Euro USD to, let's say, Euro GBP, etc., right? You can just go down and be able to actually access different pairs simply here on your watch list, okay? So if you move up here and you click where it says watch list, click the arrow, it's going to be able to show you different types of lists you guys can use. You can create new lists, be able to name them whatever you want, be able to go to your flag list that we'll go over here in just a bit. But there's different ways you can access different lists here, okay? Now, let's say you want to add a pair to your watch list, okay? Well, if you come up here and you click the little plus, you can add a symbol. We'll go ahead and click it. It's going to bring up this menu again. And let's say we want to add XAU EUR, okay? And this is going to be the gold versus the euro. And let's say we want to do forex.com broker. We go ahead and click it. And it's going to add it to the bottom of our screen. So if we go and click the X, we see XAU EUR down here at the very bottom of our watch list. And now we could click that and go to the chart. And we see here XAU versus euro, right? Once again, the gold versus the euro here on the daily. And to get rid of it, all we got to do is highlight it here on the watch list and click the little X. And boom, now it's gone. And if we scroll back up, we can go back to our Euro USD chart just by clicking it here on our watch list. And the next one is advanced tools. I'm not going to really go over that. That's just going to be simply advanced view of your watch list. Okay. Then you can come over here to the settings, which is the three little dots. Okay. And once again, here are your settings. Not going to go through all of these, but you guys can see nice little settings to customize your watch list. Okay. And the last few things I want to go over actually on your watch list. First off is if you guys see here by GBP USD, I have a blue little marker, right? These are called your flags. You guys can flag certain pairs based on what you're looking at, right? Let's say we have a nice setup on Euro USD. We just come down to it. We can click the little area where there's a flag section. And we can go ahead and actually choose a different color flag. And whatever meaning you want to put behind these flags, you can use, right? I use a few of them based on different meanings. Let's say I'm in an active trade and it's in profit. I can go ahead and put the green flag saying that, hey, I'm in a profitable trade. Let's say I went ahead and put a red flag. Well, now let's say that means that I lost this trade or something, whatever meaning you want to put behind these flags. I recommend doing that to help you organize what pairs you're looking at, right? Let's say that you want to see a possible setup on a certain pair. Let's say you use orange for that or whatever it may be, okay? Flags are a really cool and helpful way to help you organize your pairs, okay? And just simply, once again, just to get rid of it, you just simply click it once again, okay? And the last thing I want to go over on the watch list is if you go ahead and you right click, let's say any pair, it'll bring up more options. Once again, you can flag it, or you can come down, you can add a symbol again, or you can add a section, right? And the sections are, again, another way to help you organize what pairs you're looking at, right? So if I go and click add section here, it'll bring up section 1 and it's be able to help me organize which way I want to set up my pairs, right? If you guys can see my other sections, I have main pairs, my watch list, JPY pairs, AUD pairs, etc., right, as I go down, right? I like to organize them this way. You can organize them however you'd like, right? And simply to move pairs, all you got to do is click on it and drag it to wherever you'd like to, okay? And simply just to delete a section, all you got to do is come back and click the little X, okay? So once again, guys, that is your watch list. Super important. And sometimes we just like to leave it open here. You can extend it or minimize it however you'd like. But it's a very important tool to be able to have and be able to shift through your pairs with ease. Okay. And now the next one and the final one I want to go over here on this right options mark is your alerts. Once again, we've already gone over how to create alert, but right here, simply just wanted to point out this is your alerts log, right? You get to see all your alerts that you've ever set or have actively set and be able to go through them and be able to say, hey, if I want to delete one, I can go ahead and click remove here and I can delete it, or I can, edit them, pause them, whatever it may be. This is where you can access all of your alerts here on your alerts menu. Okay. Perfect, guys. And that was our right options toolbar. Like I said, those are the only two I want to go over because those are the only two I use, right? All these other options here, you guys can feel free to explore those. I personally just don't use them, so I'm not going to go through them. I don't think they're that important. Okay. Awesome, guys. So now let's go to the bottom options bar. And simply, guys, the only thing I want to really go over here is actually going to be your time zone, right? If you go to the bottom right, we see the time clicking. Simply, this is important to be able to change to your time zone, to be able to have the candles line up with your time and be able to see them in accurate time for you. Okay. Very simple. Select your time zone and you'll be able to see the chart within that correct time. Okay. Everything else down here, not too worried about. You see some time frame tools, you see some other settings and stuff that you guys can play with. Once again, feel free to explore with all of those and even the things at the bottom if you'd like to. Alrighty, guys, and last but not least, we're going to head over to our left options menu and we're going to go over the actual tools that help us analyze here on the charts, right? So the first one up here is going to be our cursors options, right? Where we have our cross, our dot, our arrow, eraser, right? And this is simply just to be able to visualize your cursor on the screen, right? We can choose the cross and be able to see that here. I personally like to use the dot, okay? Or you can use your arrow, simply just use your arrow. Or we also have the eraser option to be able to erase certain markups that you have one by one. Okay, so once again, up here, these are all your cursors, and I like to use the dot. Moving on to the second menu, we see our line tools. We go ahead and open this up. We see all our different lines that we like to use. And as I go through all these tools, I'm going to show you guys which ones I personally like to use and give a little description of why I like to use them and how I use them. Okay, so the first one I like to use is the trend line. And I like to use this to simply just mark off certain levels here in our institutional trading concepts, right? So if I go ahead and I can simply just draw a line like this, right, on the chart, click 2 points, and there's your line, okay? The next one I like to use is going to be the arrow, and I like to use this simply just when I'm teaching to be able to point out exactly what points I'm looking at. I also like to use it to show signs of break of structure and things like that, okay? The next one is the horizontal line. I like to use this to once again mark off things like trading ranges, okay? Simply just a horizontal line across the screen. Then I also like to use the horizontal ray to mark off points of interest, where I'll simply come over here and I'll put it on a point and I'll be able to see the line from where I clicked all the way extended to the right. Okay, that's your horizontal ray. Very beneficial for marking off certain levels that you're interested in. And the last one I like to use in the lines is our parallel channel, where I like to use it marking off imbalances. Okay, simply just place it something like this to mark off imbalances and be able to see your starting point, your ending point, and that midpoint that we're interested in. Okay, so there is your parallel channel. So those are the line tools that I like to use. Moving on to the third one now, we see our Fibonacci tools. And out of all of these here, the only one I like to use is the Fib retracement tool. Simply like to use this to measure retracement, see how deep retracements will come back to. So we go ahead and go from swing high to swing low. We can measure how deep retracements will go before the trend continues. Okay, so very beneficial tool to help us measure retracements. Okay, and once again, that's the only one I like to use out of this third menu option is the Fib retracement tool. Okay, moving on to the fourth one now. Now we see our drawing tools, right? So we have things like the brush, the rectangle, all these different shapes that we can use to actually draw on the charts, right? So simply using the brush, I like to use this to kind of depict what I think the market will do at a given time. So if like right here, I like to draw, just simply be like, hey, I'd like to see something like this, right? Or like to draw trends, etc., right? Simply just a quick little drawing tool in the brush. Okay, moving on to the next one. I like to use the rectangle tool to mark off points of interest. Okay, something like this, marking off certain candles that I'm interested in, things like that. Then finally, I like to use the path tool once again, just to kind of give a depiction of what I think the market can do at a given point. Something like this, kind of showing, hey, think the market can do something like this as we go along. Okay. So once again, that is your drawing tools of your brush, your rectangle, your path, all these other tools that you can use to draw on the charts. Okay. And now the fifth one is going to be your text tools, right? So we go over here, we go to see our text option, or we can simply just come up here and type any notes that we'd like here on the chart. And it'll show up here right next to our candles. Okay. And this is good for adding notes when you're marking up or back testing, or just adding labels to your charts. Okay. And another one in the text I like to use is actually the call out option, right? So if I go ahead and click this, I can actually add a point connected to text to kind of label and be able to say, add little notes, stuff like this, to be able to connect actual points to my text for labels and things like that. Okay, so I like to use the text and the call out buttons within that little text menu. Okay. So that was our text options. And going down to the sixth one, this is going to be pattern tools. And I personally don't like to use any of these tools because a lot of these are related to retail trading patterns. And once again, I like to use institutional trading, aka smart money trading, where we don't necessarily need any of these tools. Okay, so I personally don't like to use any of these. These are here though, if you would like. And moving down now to the seventh one, we see our prediction and measurement tools. And these are where we can get our long position and our short positions, right? These are the only two I'll use out of here. And simply, guys, if we see any buy opportunities, we can simply put our long position on here, and we could go ahead and shorten our stop loss, raise our take profit, right? And this is simply a visualization of a trade within our charts, right? So we can simply say that, hey, if we want to buy price here, at the middle point is going to be our entry, stop loss is going to be the bottom of the red, and take profit is going to be the top of the blue. Now, yours may look a little bit different. Once again, you can customize all your settings here within TradingView simply by just clicking each object, clicking the settings buttons, or changing the colors here. But once again, it's all customization. But when we use a long position, we see that our entry is here in the middle, stop loss at the bottom, take profit at the top, right? And if we use a short position, we can see the exact opposite, right? Let's say we wanted to catch a sell. We can enter here, and we can enter our stop loss at the top there, take profit down here, right? So we can see that our long position, we have our take profit on top, stop loss at the bottom. Short position, we see our stop loss at the top, take profit at the bottom, right? And so that's how we use this to, once again, visualize each trade and how they can play out, okay? And as we come to our final drawing tool, we see the little icons. And now we can simply use this to customize our chart with quick little images, kind of like emojis. And I personally like to use the little caution symbol, right? To use this as to mark off signs of liquidity, knowing that, hey, I shouldn't be trading at this area. I should be waiting for a institutional move, right? So that's what I personally like to use them for. Again, feel free to use any icon that you would like. And now moving on down to these other extra tools, we have a measurement tool. This is a pretty cool tool to be able to measure how many pips something has gone within a certain time frame. We see from there to there, that's 481.5 pips. You can simply measure the movement of price. And moving on now, next we have this little zoom in tool where we can simply go over here and drag to a certain section, and we can be able to zoom in just like that. If we go back, we can right click and click reset chart. It'll bring us back to the full screen. We also have a zoom out tool once you use that zoom in tool. So you can go and click zoom out. Let's go ahead and back to the reset. Okay. And then the next tools here is we have a magnet tool, right? This is a pretty cool tool to help you guys get exact points, right? So if I go and click the magnet on, and let's say I want to use my horizontal ray tool, I can go ahead and click it. And now when I go over each candle, you see that it's connecting to the nearest point, right? So if I want to put a horizontal ray that exactly the top of this candle, if I'm lined up with that candle and I click it all the way up here, it'll put it right on top of that wick right there. So the magnet tool is actually a pretty cool tool to help you actually connect points to the nearest candlestick. Okay, go to turn that off. And the next one here is to stay in drawing mode, right? So let's say you're labeling your chart and you're using the text tool. We can come up here and click text. If I go down here and I click stay in drawing mode, now if I click on the chart with my text, I can type in whatever, click OK. I can go up here and click again and type whatever. And it's simply just keeping the text tool active. So I don't have to go back and keep clicking add text and coming back to the chart, right? Simply just makes it a little bit faster if you're using a tool multiple times in a row. Okay. Pretty cool tool there. The next one I have is the lock drawing. So if I go ahead and add a rectangle, let's say right here, just draw it all the way across there. And now I go ahead and I click the little lock button. Well, now I cannot edit this tool, right? It's just going to move the screen. It's not going to allow me to edit it. So if I go back now and I unlock it, now I can go ahead and be able to edit this rectangle. Okay, let's go ahead and delete it. The last one here is we have our hide all drawings and indicators buttons, right? So let's say once again, I draw a nice little picture with my brush, right? If I go back now and I click hide all drawings, it simply hides it. I can click it back, bring it back. Okay. But if I go down to the bottom, as you guys have been seeing me use, there's a little trash can button, or if I click the trash can, it'll remove all drawings. Okay. And so whatever I have marked up, it'll completely delete it and bring me back to a fresh chart with nothing but the candles. Okay. So guys, that is your left-hand menu. The final thing I want to cover real quick is you guys see I have a floating toolbar here. I think this is pretty cool. This is your favorites bar. If you come down here and you click this little star at the bottom, you can turn on and off your favorites bar. And if you guys saw as I was going through these tools, I have a lot that are starred here on the right. If I quickly star them, it'll add it to my favorites bar here. As you guys see, if I go ahead and click the star again, it'll remove it, right? So you guys can go ahead, instead of going through all those every single time, you guys can go and add all the tools that you use frequently and add them to this favorites bar so you guys can have them for easier access. Okay, so nice little way to keep all your tools organized, be able to use them all right here on the screen. So other than that, guys, that is pretty much it on how to use TradingView, how to navigate the whole website, and be able to know exactly where you can find everything here to help you analyze your charts much smoother. So I hope this video helped you guys. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.